Hello, everyone. How are you? How are you? This is the TERRAN Lamb Show, Season 7, Episode 7, Lucky Number 7. We are on a few minutes early today to make sure that my guests can get on. And yes, Corby, I see you. Awesome. So this is Season 7. Hey, Brittany, Episode 7. This is the TERRAN Lamb Show. Thank you so much for joining me. We're on a couple minutes early today just to make sure my guests can get on. And I am going to put, before I forget, my Cash App in the comments. My Cash App. Hey, Carolina. Yep, that is my Cash App. So for those who've been watching the show for a while, my Cash App is on there. If you feel free, it's a good old-fashioned kindness donation. It's not an official 501c3. The money's from the donation. When you put Survivor in the comments, they go to pay off a heart disease or cancer patient's bill for someone in need. Yes, no worries. Please just say for any part of the show and show me some love. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And so this is, the TERRAN Lamb Show, Season 7, Episode 7. Please make sure you are liking the videos. Make sure you follow us on Apple Podcasts, the TERRAN Lamb Show. Also, make sure you're going to my YouTube channel at I Am TERRAN Lamp. I'm working on up my subscribers on YouTube so I can bring this show to YouTube as well. So make sure you're going to my YouTube channel. Matter of fact, if you can, go to my YouTube channel either now if you have multiple devices or soon after this show and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that we can get this show on YouTube as going live on YouTube as well. Again, this is Season 7, Episode 7. I am going to bring my guest in now. Corby, let me bring you in. Let's see. Hopefully you can get on. Corby, there
All right,
you are.
there we go.
How are you?
So, good. To all of your watchers, please, I am Instagram illiterate. And so this kind, lovely woman is helping me figure out what the hell I'm doing.
You are doing great. That's what you're doing.
So
you loving the glasses.
Thank you. You know, it's the good thing about cataract surgery when you used to be 21,000, 1,200, which I was, and my glasses were $450 a pair. Now I can go on readers.com and I have 35 pair and they all match my outfits and they're cheap. It's so much fun.
They're great. They're wonderful. Well, Thank you so much for joining me today. I mean, I have been reading up on your work as you sent me some stuff and I don't want to, give it all away. I think I've I posted, guys, a link to one of Corby's books in the stories. And it's kind of, I hope she gets to it. It's kind of the one that interests me, that, it interests me a lot as I think about my life. And I don't want to tell the title, but you can look on my stories and maybe she'll tell the title too. So, Corby, tell us, psychic medium, tell us a little bit about that. I was reading through everything and I put that there. And just for listeners, just first kind of give us kind of an introduction to that world for people who may not know. I think, like I said, it's intriguing to a lot of people, right? So give us an intro to that and maybe tell us a little bit about how you got here.
Okay, this is what I call my 30-second elevator speech. When I was 9, I read a book called The Witch Family by Eleanor Estes, and I thought, oh, there's magic in the world. I want to go find it. Fast forward to 1973, when I was a senior in high school, and yes, darlings, that tells you how old I am. Working part-time at Spencer Gifts, they had the James Bond 007 tarot deck, and I bought it because we were all hippies. You had your L bottoms and the fringe jacket and the deck. Now, 5 years later, everybody else had moved on to roller skates and disco balls. I was still working with the cards because I loved them. So for 20 years, I read for friends, keeping my ego on the shelf out of the way.
Oh, okay.
Early hands-on healing and talk to dead people with no training. That's when the universe handed me my draft notice and said, you're working for us. Did it part-time until 9/11, watched the towers burn, turned to my husband and I said, people will need other answers. They got to know there's something else out there.
Come a little, you're kind of breaking in, you're breaking up just a little bit. Maybe come, I don't know if it's closer or over?
I don't know. We live very
Yeah.
rural. That could be it.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
anyway, so since 9/11, it's been full time, 6 days a week. I read 1,000 people a year, and I get to get up every morning. I don't have to get up every morning. That's key.
Yeah. So when you first thought to yourself, so we are here with Corby, psychic medium tarot master. When you first said to yourself, I have this gift,
Yep.
you know, were you yourself surprised, or were you, you know, what did you think there?
It just made sense to me because I
Okay.
wanted it, and nothing told me that I shouldn't.
I like that.
So, what I try to explain to everybody is y'all can do what I do. I'm not special. We are all wired like the same house plan. Okay. The other way I describe it is we all have 10 fingers. We can all play chopsticks if we try. Some of us really like music, so we learn to read music and we practice our scales and we get good. One in
Mm-hmm.
50 million is Elton John, but we all have 10 fingers.
Right.
That's why people shouldn't be scared of what we do. You can do it too. This is just a skill that we have worked on.
Yeah, so that was kind of a follow-up question. I know you said tarot master, so is it something that you um, I want to say get better at, you get deeper into?
Yes. I actually have 2 certifications. One of them is from a group that's no longer around. That's the Tarot Certification Board of America. With them, I'm a certified professional tarot reader. It means I can read the cards inside out, upside down. I've written a code of ethics, and I know how to keep things sane and safe for my clients. Certified
Okay.
Tarot Master just means I've been around since Moses was in diapers, basically.
What do you mean by safe?
People see the death card and think they're going to be hit by a bus on Tuesday. No, it's death of an old way of life, death of what they've outgrown, death of what was never there in the first place. I explain the allegorical meanings of the cards, and as much as there are some really good types around, there are always what I call the Madame Hoo-Has and the Swami Swalandas and the fake gypsies. Oh, you have a family curse. How many in your family? 4? You have a dog? $50 every family member, 25 for a dog. He's small, we fix. That's bull.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now this is where I feel like we haven't. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. The clean out your closet, clean out your life closet. I feel like this is where this comes in when you mentioned, you know, some of the stuff you just said about,
Yep.
you know, it's not necessarily you're going to get hit by a bus tomorrow, but you've got some things in life you need to clean out and you need to work on. I feel like
the way that book got designed
yeah.
is several years ago, I said to my clients, what are the things you keep slamming up against that you really need to work on? And the 4 things they came up with were clarity, simplicity, adaptability, and stress. So I wrote the book with those 4 parts. But, you know, self-help books, most of them say, do everything I tell you and it all gets better. No, it doesn't. We haven't lived your life, been through your challenges, have any idea about you. So for anybody to say it's only my way to do it, they're nuts. There was a book when I was researching that said you can't eat food with leptin in it, and you should get up every morning before dawn and do yoga. Now, you're a single mom with 2 preschool kids in Milwaukee and you got a job. You think you're going to do that? I don't. Okay. So my whole thing is, here's some of the dumb things I did. Here's a client story. And here's some examples. But the key is at the end of each chapter, there are what I call the adventure pages, where I help you by posing questions that you have to answer from your own life. You cannot flip to page 86 and find the answer because it won't be there. And when you answer these questions after each chapter through your own life, that then becomes your personal manual. And you realize how much you know already that you can trust.
And is that about, I can't remember the exact title, but it was something about magic, about us having the magic.
That's a different book.
Okay.
I've written Clean Out Your Life Closet is the self-help one. The Psychic Yellow Brick Road, How to Find the Real Wizards and Avoid the Flying Monkeys, is how to find a good intuitive counselor and not get taken. You've Got the Magic Who Needs a Genie is
yes,
for everybody.
yes,
that one is specific if you are a light worker, whether it's a reader, a vendor, a healer, and you want to go out on circuit. That's the book. For 18 years, I was on the road 45 weekends a year, 50,000 miles a year on the car. My nickname was the Travel Channel. But the universe said, you're done. When I got a back injury in 2019, had to immediately put all my business online. But then what happened in March of 2020, but the year of murder, hornet, bingo, and hold my beer. So the universe was actually taking care of me. But there are lots of people out there who still want to do the circuit. Why should I make them reinvent the wheel? It's 18 years of every single thing I've learned on how to be an A-lister at the Holistic Expo circuit. So
is that kind of what you so before that? We all have this in us. We all have this magic, if you will.
Yes, we do. We absolutely do. But what you do with it, see, when you finally, that's key. When you finally say to Spirit, okay, I'm ready to work the stuff, Spirit goes rifling in your internal file cabinet to see what you're good at. With me, I was a theater major at Brown and I acted in New York in the 80s and 90s. So I understand character arcs. Words are my drug of choice. So I'm great at telling stories. And I have been interested in history since I was a little kid in single digits. You put all that together, and my two strongest suits are reading tarot and oracle cards and telling the story and past life retrieval, which is different from regression. It's when you have a stumbling block in your life, and I can, if you will, go upstairs and help you find out why that's there. But do not ask me to draw spirit art because I cannot draw a stick figure with a sharp pencil and a lot of prayer. Not my thing.
So don't ask me to draw it, but you can bring it out.
I can describe it. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting. I like that you said, for one thing, I wanted actually to write down because I liked it, that you said was in the very beginning, you said, I liked it and no one said I shouldn't, Like that's kind of what and I was going to write that down because I like that quote. I liked it and no one said I shouldn't. I like that quote. And I think that's a lot of areas of life, right?
Yes.
Like
yeah.
if
Now,
we just thought,
okay,
if
nobody
we just
in my
thought,
family understood me. They're all doctors and nurses. I could have stood on the dinner table and recited Shakespeare and they wouldn't have gotten it. But I did not let that stop me.
Well, I mean, I think if we approach a lot of things like that, I like it, and no one really said I shouldn't. So this is what I'm trying. I think we can approach a lot of life's, challenges or a lot of things that basically I hear you saying, like, I don't know what the saying is, but something like, just try it, right? Like just go with it and try it. And you liked it. No one said you shouldn't. You were good at it. You just kept going with it.
As we say in New York City, it couldn't heights. Go do. That's just what it is.
Go do.
You won't, if you don't try what you love, it will nag at you your entire life.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so too. I agree with that. So you guys, this is the TERRAN Lamb Show, season 7, episode 7. Please make sure you are following us on IG. Make sure you're going to Apple Podcasts. This show itself will be on Apple Podcast. And also make sure you're going and subscribing to the YouTube channel. I am TERRAN Lamp. This show will also be on YouTube. And I'm working on my YouTube subscribers so that I can get this show live on YouTube too in the near future. So make sure you're subscribing to YouTube and to the podcast. So what type of, Corby, in this whole journey, if you will, what do you feel like some of your obstacles have been?
Well, part of it was to make sure that my ego was out of the way. Okay. You will never be everybody's counselor.
Okay.
And that's just one of the things you have to accept. Some people will say, what you told me is all bull. And you smile at them and you say, thank you for sharing. You may think that if you wish. Because if we're worried about what we're saying, our ego's in the way. Perfect example. There was a woman I read up in Kitchener, Ontario, and I saw a couple of challenges for her, and I told her. She gets up from my table, she looks at me, she says, you suck, and she walks away. Who's the first person at my desk the next time I'm back in Kitchener? She sits down. She said, last time I said you sucked. I said, yes, I remember. Because you told me that I was going to take in a boarder and then I'd probably want to sell my house. And I thought that was all bull. But my daughter got pregnant and moved home. And now I'm going to sell the house to help raise my grandson. And I still don't like you, but I want to know what else you see. Don't shoot the messenger.
Okay. So that probably happens more than you'd like, or not often?
I don't keep track, just like I don't keep track of my accuracy. Okay. Other people tell me I'm accurate and clients come back. That's all I really need to know.
Okay.
But the thing I tell people is, remember, even the best of us, we're only 85% accurate. The only one 100% accurate is God, and he's not doing phone readings this week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the part that might happen more than you like is people, not taking it in, right? Like I can see how people wouldn't take it in, or maybe not want to hear what you have to say, even though they came to you to hear what you have to say.
Yep. But that is why if you have a reading with me, I send you home either with a CD recording of it, if I see you live, or an MP3 download if I read you on Zoom or the phone. Because a lot of people won't get it all the first time.
Okay.
But if they go back and listen, they'll say, oh, she did say that. Okay.
Got it. So this is season 7, episode 7, the TERRAN Lamb Show. We are talking today to Corby, psychic, medium, and tarot master. She is explaining to us her journey, and then she's explaining to us a little bit about what she does and some of the obstacles that have came in her path. But I feel like all the obstacles, I feel like you're the type of person that all the obstacles that came in your way, you actually kind of embrace them too.
That's called living the examined life. For instance, I have done the cancer dance 3 times. Notice I do not say I fought cancer, because what you fight fights back. And I do not say I'm a survivor, because I do a hell of a lot more than hang on by teeth and toenails. Mm-hmm. A cancer dancer finds out how graceful they can be under pressure, avoids getting their toes stepped on, and gets off the dance floor in one piece. Now, from the time I was 11, I had a Dolly Parton figure with a brunette wig, honest to God. Guys never looked above the neck or below the waist. And for years, I thought that was all I was worth. So I got cancer the first time in '89 when I was acting in New York. 4 lumpectomies, radiation. That's still while I was holding down a 60-hour week at a law firm and going to the Actors Institute and auditioning. Second time was in 2000 when it was skin cancer from the radiation. Meanwhile, here we are, 2002, I finally married the right guy. Wonderful marriage. In 2004, it was a second primary. Took the danger clock back to 0, but the doctors at Mass General said, 3 strikes, you're out. We're taking the rack. We're taking the ovaries, and you're going from this Dolly Parton figure to a fat fire plug with permanent side effects in 3 weeks. Now, how do you live the examined life? You see what's happening and you don't like it, but it's going to happen. Whether it was my situation or what's going on in the United States today. So the first thing you have to say is, what's the lesson that I can learn on a soul level? Mm-hmm. Number 2, for me, how can I teach with it? And 3, next. I decided I was going to come up with 3 reasons to be okay with it. I didn't care how stupid they were. Mm-hmm. Number 1, you don't have them. You can't get cancer there. That's a good thing. Number 2, they weren't going to get slammed in the refrigerator door at the doctor's every year. And every woman listening knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes. I was like,
3, implants. I'll be perky till I'm 93. This is cool.
Yeah.
So I got out of Mass General in 3 days, shopped for a bathing suit in 5 after a 6-hour double mastectomy and reconstruction. I've never looked back. Here it is in 2022. I'm 67, still clean, still married. Found out what a hero my husband was. He said to me, am I going to miss them? Oh, yeah, they were gorgeous. But I married you, not them.
Yeah.
And we're having our 20th anniversary this year.
Oh, congratulations. Happy anniversary.
But it was a work in progress. It was not the marriage we thought we were going to get, but
Right.
it's one where we are more in love now than we were when we got married because of the work.
Right. It's the work, right? And
Yeah,
so I know you have to, you talk about helping other people do the work, and it sounds like you've done the work too, of cleaning out your own life closet, if you will.
it is why I have the level of compassion I do. I mean, Mitleid, my last name, is a chosen last name. It is the German word for compassion to remind me why I do the work I do.
Oh, okay. That's good. I mean, that's deep. Let me say that. That's deep. But it's also, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. It actually makes sense too with the work you do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? To be that thoughtful and compassionate, maybe even intuitive. Yeah.
Yes.
With
Yes.
yourself, I mean, with yourself. I mean,
You
not
have
just with other people.
a lot of internal
Yeah.
work
Yeah.
because you can't let your ego trip you up. And the more you have gone through the fire yourself, the less judgmental you are when people come to you and they're still burning.
Mm. Because you know what that feels like.
And I know how lost you can feel. You need to
Yeah.
have somebody look at you and say, I believe in you. And I've always said 4 words trump 3 words. That is because, yeah, everybody says I love you, but you can love someone and not believe in them. But if you believe in them, you absolutely love them. 4 words trump.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm gonna write that one down too. If you believe in them, you absolutely love them.
Yep. That's what my husband put inside our wedding ring.
Um, I'm writing. I need to remember that one too.
Take your time.
I'm writing. Yeah, I think that takes a lot of, a lot of self work, and like I said, intuition. I'm not sure if it's intuition or just more like just self work. And I think let me ask you: is it hard to work on others and work on yourself?
No, because you do it separately. When I used to do the 4-day shows in Kitchener, they would be open 3 to 9, 10 to 9, 10 to 9, and 10 to 6. And I
Wow.
was A-lister. So I'd read 70 people in 4 days. And when you do that, you have to absolutely be compassionate and present with those people.
Okay.
And for half an hour, 15 minutes, they get up. Brain-wise, you do a core dump. The next person, you have the compassion for them. I won't remember what I read 3 people ago, which is so I don't get things mixed up. I
Okay.
used to get a reader's high at the shows. But at the end of the day, you roll me in a body bag, you put me back in the B&B, and you put food in my mouth because I was just beat.
Yeah. Well, that's Miriam says. Wow, 70 people in 4 days. She says, and right, that's a lot of people
Yep.
in 4 days. And I can imagine it takes your energy, like you said. It just draws from.
Yep. But when you remember you're just the tube that comes through,
Mm,
you get the energy you need. Like I say, it's a reader's high. You don't get exhausted during the day.
okay.
It's just like when you do hands-on healing. You don't push your own energy. You're the tube that it comes through. You're the conduit for God, and you just let it run through. Your consciousness, you're sitting up there reading a magazine in the corner.
Okay.
Which is why I say I do hands-on healing, but not that I am a hands-on healer. Hear that difference?
Okay.
I don't claim it.
Oh, you don't?
No. Imagine a hammer strutting around on your back deck going, look at that deck. See how straight that wood is? And all those names. No.
Yeah.
He grabbed the hammer and whacked its head against the wood.
Yeah.
I'm the hammer. Someone else holds it.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. I mean, that makes sense when you put it that way. I'm the hammer, someone else holds it. I just wondered, like I said, how. But it's interesting to hear you say that it's not so much taxing on you. I just wonder if it was taxing on you, because a lot of your work, right, is the word battling internal struggles in others, or bringing out. And so, does that tire you out? But you said no.
Only if they keep arguing, you know, if they keep comparing. Well, Madam Hoo-Ha didn't tell me that. Well, Swami Swan, 7 lives. Well, I didn't remember that. I mean, when they're pushing like that, yeah, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
But clients really want to know what I have to say, and they ask questions, and that's good.
What do you think
They're a certificate. It's got to be a dialogue between the two of us.
Is the most exciting, rewarding part of what you do? I'm sure there's lots of things, but any top 3?
Past life retrieval brings people answers they couldn't have otherwise. Okay. There was a woman who came to me and said, I really don't know what to do about my son. He's 29. He won't do anything important without checking with me first. He won't live more than a mile from me. What's going on? And so I did a quick trance. I said, all right, I'm seeing Utah Beach, 1944. So that's D-Day. Your son is one of the soldiers on the beach. His leg's pretty mangled because it has shrapnel. You're his commanding officer. I'm seeing you drag him over a sand dune. You take some shrapnel too, but you both get out of there and you both live. And I opened my eyes and she looks at me and she's kind of pale. She says, can you see my rank? I said, yes, you were a sergeant. And she goes, he's been calling me Sarge since he was 3 and we never knew where that came from. How the hell do I know that stuff? It ain't me. I'm just a dude.
Yeah.
That's why, I mean, don't come to me and say I must have been Anne Boleyn because I can't wear turtlenecks. A, do you know how often I've heard that? And B, not likely. The reason we don't remember our past lives is because we're supposed to be living this one.
I like that.
Point, and you figure out you were Napoleon. You think you're really going to want to mop the floor? No. The only time we remember or should be aware of our past lives is if they can help us live this one better.
Okay. And that comes from, but I think you got to get all that, like we've talked about in the very beginning, how we open it up. You got to get all that out of your system, if you will. You know, all that gook of past life, right?
Yes. You got to be aware of it.
Aware of it. Okay, maybe that's a better choice of words. You got to be aware of it.
For instance, I have a client who was born into a Jewish family and always felt like they had gotten on the wrong bus. And they converted to Christian in their 20s. And when we did the past life for them, we found out who they were, turn of the 20th century. They were wonderful. They were good to their fiance. They were a great teacher and all of that, but they were anti-Semitic as all get out. And so their soul decided they were going to rebalance the energy by showing them what it is like to be Jewish. And once they realized that, all the feeling strange went away. So.
Yeah, that's so interesting. So we got like 4 minutes left. So I have 2 final questions. One is, so Cancer Dancer, you've done it all. I mean, you've what you said, right? You went, you go do, you went and did, what's the future hold? What would you like to do next?
What's the future hold today is a different answer than I would give you a month ago.
Okay.
What I want to do is I want to keep people strong in the dark. I want to remind people to live their truth, that all things are born, grow, and die. And even in the darkest times, you can be a light for somebody else.
Okay.
What I'm here for.
And you have your purpose, right?
Very much.
What is, so I ask this question to everyone too, the last final question.
Yes.
What are you curious about?
Boy, like every other human being, I want to know what happens after we shuffle off this mortal coil. Am I going to be able to talk to people? Am I going to, how much of Corby am I going to retain? But those are the questions we don't get to know until we're already up there. And from here, we can only guess.
We don't get to know until we know, right?
That's right. That's right.
And then I guess that this was not the final question, but
Yeah.
I just want to know if there's anything else you'd like for people to know. I started off with saying this is just such an intriguing thing. I feel like for a lot of people, and anything that you would like us to know about what you do that we may not already know, might be a misconception, anything like that that you would like to close out with that we should know, because I think you have. I think what you've explained to me, full transparency, has just given me knowledge that I did not know, right? You see this, what you think people say.
Yeah.
And what you are explaining to me is different than what I think people think and say.
Yes. It's not about me. It's about my clients.
Mm-hmm.
My job is to say, here are your opportunities and how to grab them. Here's the tough stuff. Here's how they got through it or around it. Here's your toolbox. We'll hand you the toolbox. We're not the repairman. You live your life. You have your free will. And if we give you information that is useful, take it and run with it.
Yeah, I think you've opened up freedom.
Wonderful.
I think people don't give themselves freedom to think about different things. And I think this to me allows people to give themselves freedom to go do, to be things, to learn things, to be okay with things,
Yes.
and to move on from things. It gives you so many freedoms.
Yes. We're here to learn.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be perfect. Who died and made you God? God is perfect. You are not. Doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Learn, enjoy, keep going.
Well, I mean, thank you so much. You are, like I said, you taught me in this 30 minutes. We are at our 30 minutes. I'm blessed to have you, respond to me, and you've been on stages all over the world. So I'm thankful that you were able to come on today and share with our guest and share with me. You've definitely enlightened me and given me some things to think about. And I just want to remind everyone again, this is going to be on my YouTube channel at I am TERRAN Lamp, and it's also going to be on Apple Podcasts. So, and Corby's going to have all this information for herself as well. But I just appreciate, Corby, you coming on. I appreciate everyone coming on today. This is the TERRAN Lamp Show, Season 7, Episode 7. Make sure you're liking, following, subscribing. And Corby, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. We'll see you here on another episode. Everybody be good to yourself and each other. And as Corby said, go do. Bye-bye.